Welcome back to the weekly recap. I'm Matt Wacker. Emergency personnel responded to a report Wednesday afternoon of an unresponsive male found on a Fort Leonard Wood running trail. The individual was transported by ambulance to a nearby hospital where he was later pronounced dead. Circumstances surrounding this incident are currently under investigation by the Army's Criminal Investigation Command. The Parkside House in West Plains was condemned last week after its foundation collapsed. Building inspector Dustin Harrison examined the northeast corner and found other damage to the home. An engineer was called to survey those damages. Because of the nature of the collapse, the West Plains Police Department has been investigating the possibility of vandalism. What caused the collapse is still unknown. Leach Theater has a new look for 2018. After 27 years, the venue is sporting a refreshed and redesigned seating area and an updated sound system. Leanne Minting spoke with Managing Director Emily Brickler.
We got new seats. A lot of them are, all of our seats are wider and they have a lumbar support and they're more comfortable. So we're really excited about that. We got a whole new center aisle now so that you don't have to climb over so many people to get to your seat, which makes it much more convenient. Plus you can get in and out of the theater more easily, more quickly. We had railings installed, which I don't know about you, but for me, it really helps to have something to hold on to when you're going up or down the stairs. The university got a new projector and a new sound system so that the professors can come in, press a button, and everything works separate from Leach Theater's equipment. It's all new carpeting, fresh coat of paint, so we're looking pretty good.
Missouri's Prop D is a 10-cent fuel tax increase set to be on the upcoming ballot. If passed, the measure will generate some $411 million annually to fund law enforcement and maintenance for highways, roads, and bridges in the state. The Rolla City Council is advocating for passage of the measure. MoDOT estimates that Phelps County would receive $491,000 in new annual revenue from Prop D. The Women in Business Group will launch their first event September 25th, with additional events scheduled throughout 2018. Hosted by the Small Business and Technology Development Center at Missouri S&T, the Missouri Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and Women's Space Rolla, the organization provides women with access to resources, training, networking, and a forum for new ideas. All events are free and will take place at the Rolla campus of Columbia College. The West Plains School District would like to warn you of a scam. There have been reports of local businesses receiving phone calls from an individual claiming to be employed by the school district. This person is attempting to solicit funds for the Zizzer Athletics program in the form of advertising. If you have purchased advertising from this person, please file a complaint with the Missouri Attorney General's office. According to an ASCD article, schools are now using therapy dogs to help with everything from trauma to reading interventions to school climate. One area school has implemented this practice with a canine in residence. Leanne visited Lebanon High School to spend some time with Barbie the therapy dog and LHS counselor Rebecca Struby.
If Barbie had a job description, what would that be?
Well, some would say professional sleeper. She likes to sleep a lot. She's pretty calm. But she's calm and she sleeps a lot because her job is to calm others down and to keep students and faculty and parents from becoming anxious or afraid.
Give me an example of a situation where Barbie was able to thwart a potentially disastrous or troublesome situation.
So she really responds to students that have a lot of anxiety, and she responds to students even more so than adults. And so there's been several times where we've had students that maybe are in the throes of an anxiety attack, and she'll just go over, nudge them, or if they're very upset and crying, she'll go just lay her head on their lap. And she does that with adults too, but she definitely knows the difference between the students and the adults. And so
That's interesting.
yes, yeah.
Talk about conflict resolution and how Barbie helps with that.
Again, it's just her presence just calms students and lets them know that this is a safe place and that they are cared about, even if it's just cared about by Barbie. They feel cared about by Barbie. And so that instantly puts students that are maybe very sensitive and very even heartbroken in that moment of having conflict with another student or with a teacher into just a very calmed state. And so they're better able to hear what the other person is saying and hear from the other person's perspective. A lot of times the counselor or an administrator will say, I really think Barbie could be helpful here, and so I just bring her in. Many times you just say, okay, Barbie, go ahead, and she'll go right to the student that she feels is the most upset and take care of that. So
Well, I noticed when we were walking through the halls that the students just are drawn to Barbie.
yes,
Her sweet personality.
yes. She has become a kind of a mascot here, and what has surprised me the most about having Barbie at the high school level is how the students respond to her just in the halls. It takes me twice as long to get from one end of the building to the other because I'm constantly being stopped.
Talk about the difference between a therapy dog and a service dog.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to therapy dogs versus a service dog or even a support animal, there are kind of three distinctions there that we hear a lot in the media these days. So a service dog performs a particular service for an individual. So whether that's somebody who is blind and they perform that service, or someone who's disabled and they perform those services for that disabled person, that's a service dog. And then emotional support animals are again for an individual that maybe has a specific diagnosis and a doctor feels that having that animal helps with things like anxiety or depression. Therapy dogs are trained specifically to recognize those emotions, and I always say with Barbie, she was bred specifically for those traits. And so she had several testings, characteristic things that she had to go through starting at 6 weeks old, all the way through her 22 months of training to ensure that she had the correct traits to pick up on those emotions that students or even adults are feeling. I hear every single day, Barbie's the best thing about Lebanon High School from one student or the other. So just the fact that she makes students that maybe otherwise are not engaged in school be engaged and be excited to be here, I think is the benefit of Barbie more than anything else.
A huge crowd filled the parking lot at Rolla High School last Friday night for the Bulldogs' home opener against West Plains. It was the annual Bulldog Pride Night hosted by the Rolla Area Chamber of Commerce. The game itself, however, benefited the Zizzers, who ran away with a 49-0 victory. A cruise-in was held on August 25th at the Square in West Plains. Several cars appeared at that show, including one very special 1977 Trans Am owned by Sean Bailey out of Branson. It's the car that Burt Reynolds made famous in Smokey and the Bandit, and also happens to be one of my favorite star cars. In a sad twist of irony, I research stories for this program on Thursdays. At the exact time I was writing the words that you're hearing now, I learned of Burt's passing at the age of 82. He was Hollywood's top-grossing actor from 1978 through 1982 and earned an Oscar nomination in 1997. But to me, and several like me, he will always be the Bandit. That's all for now. Thanks for watching the weekly recap. I'll see you next time.
But deep down inside them, I bet they wish they were you.
The weekly recap is brought to you by Bryce Chopper, cooking from scratch, the UPS store of Rolla, Bayard Dodge in West Plains, and the Ozarks Medical Center.
For many students, like those at Rolla's Missouri University of Science and Technology, school is already back in session. But what students might not know is they can be easy targets for scam artists and identity thieves. With new surroundings and different people on campus, it's difficult to know who to trust. Recent Better Business Bureau research shows 69% of scam victims are under the age of 45, and young adults of the millennial generation are now more likely to fall victim to scam than baby boomers. Knowing the most common cons directed at students can help educate young adults to identify and ultimately avoid falling victim to the tricks of con artists. College students and their families can also be proactive in fighting fraud with this advice from your Better Business Bureau. Verify the identity of the sender before downloading attachments or clicking on links in emails or text messages, even if they appear to be urgent, to avoid phishing scams. Steer clear of employment scams by researching job offers sent to your school email account or posted on social message boards like in school, which promise flexible hours with excellent pay. Always check for website security, HTTPS, that S means secure, when you're entering contact details or financial information. Verify business contact information when shopping online or risk potentially falling victim for an online purchase scam. If you're asked to pay for a product or service with a prepaid money card, a wire transfer, or the gift card, you should go ahead and verify the person or company through which those requests were made. Those types of payments requests are common with the roommate or rental scams, social media scams, or other online transactions. Lock up your material with sensitive information like your students' IDs, social security numbers, and account numbers to protect yourself from being identity theft. Remember, it's not always a stranger looking to steal your personal financial information, and someone you know can gain access to your personal information in dorms or other common spaces. To go ahead and report a scam if you've been a scam victim, go to bbb.org/scamtracker.